How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Perfect Reload. My name is Steve, and we are here with kind of a big one today as Nintendo has remade my favorite game of all time, Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, though they took away the Legend of the Seven Stars for this. So we're a little bit less than an hour into the game here. We're in the sewers. We have Mallow in our party. Yeah, they've made some changes. So they have, the menu system's a little bit different. It used to take you to like a separate screen and all that. You have, all these different journals and monster lists and all that stuff that you can kind of fill up. It kind of tracks every monster that you've come across and gives you kind of like a little write up on them and all that kind of good stuff. There's a couple big changes here, which we'll get into once we see combat, and then the other kind of big changes there is difficulty settings now. For me, as somebody who has played this game quite a few times in their life, I decided to go with the easier difficulty settings. I just kind of want to sit back and enjoy the story. Probably the biggest change overall to the game is that it is a brand new translation. I haven't noticed too many glaring differences yet. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that made me go, oh my God, I can't believe they changed that. But now that we're in combat here, so the gauge in the lower left, that is brand new. Also, since I timed that attack correctly, it gave splash damage. That is new as well. It's a timing based mechanic, which I am failing at on the defensive side here. There's a little like explanation, or what's the term I'm looking for? Exclamation point will mark when you're supposed to do your timing. And we took way more damage on that than I had anticipated. So let's we get back up. I just want to get a mushroom over to Mallow. And then we're all set. We'll fight another battle here. I'll pay a little bit closer attention here. All right. We get that there once again. So now we can double up. Oh, we missed. That's actually the first time I've missed since starting this game. But once you level up that gauge in the bottom, I know once you get a full party and you have 3 members, it'll trigger some type of like triple attack. Right now, it just has Toad come out and you kind of get like a random item. The big mystery surrounding this game was who developed it. It turns out it was Art Piazza. They are the makers of Dragon Quest. So certainly one hell of a pedigree for them. That's kind of a big one. I was surprised it wasn't an internal Nintendo studio or a studio that they're kind of known for outsourcing work to. So that was a little bit surprising, I guess you could say, Honestly, even though I have played this game plenty of times, I don't necessarily remember the maze pattern to the sewer. But we'll make our way there. But it's a pretty simple RPG. This came out in the mid 90s, 96. So a lot of very well-known RPGs had already been released on the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. And this thing approached things differently because it had this timing-based mechanic, which I personally just absolutely fell in love with. And it was a big reason why I enjoyed the first South Park RPG, because they essentially just aped the style from it and made it just an absolute pleasure to play. I wish more RPGs over the years would have taken advantage of it. I'm not a huge RPG fan. I've certainly played my share. I kind of gave up on Final Fantasy around the time it went 3D with Final Fantasy VII. I would say that probably, aside from this, my favorite RPG of all time is Persona 4 Golden. I played through it on the Vita and just really, really enjoyed it. But I don't, let's get some more HP. But I don't play them often. kind of the last traditional big one I played was that Final Fantasy VII Remake. And even that, like they changed the way that game plays enough to the point where it's like, is this really a traditional, you know, RPG anymore, you know? Let's take a look at that. What do we just got? Ooh, I keep hitting the wrong true form. You won't be turned into mushrooms or scarecrows. It's actually fairly handy. I don't think Mallow has. Put that on him. He doesn't have a weapon yet. His signature weapon, of course, being the symbols. Let's fight this little rat. But I have enjoyed my time with this so far. It's been very fun getting back into it. You know, it took me a while to kind of get used to the art style, but within a handful of minutes of playing, I was pretty much, you know, I was okay with it. So let's do the so here's the assist move right now. I don't think I've gotten this pink star yet, so I'm not quite sure. A lucky star. Okay. All right. Well, that doesn't really help when he's asleep. So the rat ran away and then we win. So go figure. I know they've added some post-game content to this. I believe there was some type of, I want to say it's a boss rush mode, but like things are altered, like attack parameters are altered and things like that. I think that's what it is. I didn't really read the reviews for this to be completely honest, because I kind of knew what I was getting into here. Let's see. I think this is where we came from, is it not? It's very easy to get lost in these maze-like areas. Whoa. Oh, quite a bit there. I will say the one thing I really do enjoy, I love that splash damage mechanic that they added. I think that it's a really interesting concept. You know, it fits in with this kind of game. You know, because it's a turn-based RPG. You know, you've got your magic attacks, you've got your you know, your regular, you know, I guess melee attacks, for lack of a better term. I'll show off, you know, here's a magic attack. This is like a crowd clearing one. Wow, we are getting wrecked by this thing. All right, let's get Mario up and running again. Get him healed up here. We are going to be approaching a boss soon with Belome. Actually, I don't know if you've ever pronounced it Belome, Belome. No, it's just a separate. Oh, we just screwed up. Okay, all right. Now I know what we did wrong. Okay, we're gonna have to really backtrack there. That's fine. That's all right. It's not too big of a deal. I thought all that looked familiar for a moment. The one thing I am, I've, at this point from, you know, playing roughly an hour or so, I've got the timing down. The timing is 100% a little bit different, which of course it is. It's a remade game. It's not going to be one for one, but the timing is definitely a little bit slightly off from the Super Nintendo version. I have not been able to time Mario's jump yet. I have only been able to do single jumps, which is surprising because, man, back on the Super Nintendo, I could really hit that thing like spot on. So I was kind of surprised. We'll try it out, of course, once we get into combat. But I was pretty surprised that I was having such a hard time getting it going. Oh, there we go. So you run into instances like this where you get the star, and a lot of times they will just kind of auto-generate additional enemies for you to run over. All the enemies you kill while activated in that star mode do count towards getting experience. So if you run into the right situation, you are you could potentially level up like very easily. Why don't we do it here while we've got it? Yeah, I still have not been able to get it down, but we'll get there. The little flower at the bottom, that's your flower points. It's your MP, you know, for lack of a better term. Oh, did we just backtrack? Yeah, we did. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's go back. Try and work our way through the maze. Oh, I bet you it was that one. Was it? Might have been. I think that's right. Nope. Well, this is going very well. I'll do some more combat. Level up some more. Let's do his Thunderbolt scene. Get an idea of kind of how it, yeah. So it'll hit every enemy that's out there. Or are they gonna put us both to sleep? That's not good. But we persevere. So yeah, you'll get those little like random items when you perform well. You know, you'll get just your HP refilled and stuff like that. You know, sometimes you'll grab random items when you complete a battle. The game is constantly pretty much throwing things at you. You know, it's not difficult. All right, we have keep going in a loop here, so we gotta figure things out. Let's go back this way. I want to say this is the right direction, but maybe we're missing something here. Do we have to drop off the edge here? I don't think we do. In the water? Oh, I think this might be it. No? That's awesome. Yeah. All right. Sorry about this. All right, through the magic of editing, we had to figure out that maze again. I didn't want to spend the entire video just completely stuck on it. So we're good. Should be good now. All right, I just gotta make sure we are going in the right direction here. I believe we are. Yes, we are. Yeah, we have to do one more combat situation, and then we'll be off to the races. Block that perfectly so we didn't take any damage. You get that little like shield, you know, effect will pop up. So, all right, now we can get down here, and we are off to our boss battle. We will save. This does auto save, so you don't have to worry about manually saving. Here's Belome, Belome. Honestly, never really knew how I don't think I've ever heard anybody say it, you know, in an official sense. Belome likes to lick you. That will cause some issues. Let's see if we can try and get a, nope, still can't. I just don't get it. Uh-oh. He's gonna eat Mallow. The hammer that you get in the beginning of the game for Mario is such a powerful weapon to start off a game with. It's really effective. I mean, even not on the the easier mode, it is it's still very good. We're going to have to get, no, we don't need that much yet. So we will, why don't we use one and then, oh, and now we're eating. We're still a scarecrow. Still can't get that timing right. We're not gonna be able to do anything really, so we're just gonna have to defend. There we go. All right, let's get Toad to help us out here. Is it a honey syrup? Flower essence. Okay. He will eventually spit Mallow back up, so it's not like he's, you know, he's gone for good or anything like that. One of these days, we'll get that timing down. I don't think that's the end of the fight, is it? Oh, is it really? I thought he was a much longer battle, maybe because of the easier mode. Oh, that's why we didn't have the it's the super jump. That's why I haven't been. God, I need to remember these things. You'd think I would know things about this game, but apparently I know nothing. So you don't always level up together. There are times where one character will level up. Obviously, once you get into your party, you know, that'll change. Yeah, still HP is pretty valuable at the beginning of this game. Nope, here comes the water. Yes. Hit that button. Uh-oh. Bye. Now they get washed out of the sewer. This was always one of my favorite parts of the game for some reason. They interject these little mini games into this game that I always just really enjoyed. Yes, Midas River. I always like the one where you're jumping on the barrels. That's always pretty fun. All right, here we go. We're off to get the coins. You always want to make sure you're getting the green coins. Try to get as many as you can. Oh. If you are a fan of this game, or maybe you're new to this, you know, once you've played it for yourself, I highly urge you to go and check out some speed runs of this game. There are people that have done some very impressive things with it. Oh. Oh, this is, oh, here we go. Gonna take you for a ride. Now we got another green coin. You just gotta like skip the rest of it now. Oh, just kind of put this back into place. Okay, that's cool. That green coin. I gotta say, this has been really refreshing to play, not just because, you know, I love this game so much, but like they're playing a bunch of Call of Duty. It's like, oh, this is so much less stressful. Here we go. This is always my my favorite. Give us some tips, Toad. right. There's always like super optimized versions of these things. I never really got into that. I never tried to like speed run this game or anything like that. I don't think I necessarily have the skill for anything like that. It's just a game that for whatever reason it just really connected with me. You know, I didn't have a Super Nintendo of my own. I've told the story on the podcast and stuff, but when I went to a babysitter, she had a Super Nintendo and just happened to have this game. And I just really fell in love with it. It was just so different from anything else that I had played aside from, you know, I had played like Final Fantasy 3, you know, which is, you know, the actual Final Fantasy 6. And, you know, this is a very serious kind of game. You know, there was an RPG. I mean, even though, you know, kids played it, like those games were kind of geared a little bit more towards adults. And this game was just so bright and colorful. And I just loved the combat system, and I loved the new characters, and I loved the twists that they gave with Bowser, you know, being on your side and stuff like that. And just all like the weirdness of the game. And it was just a lot of fun. Okay. Sounds good. Got a Koopa Shell. Koopa Shell, very good weapon. Let's maybe switch to the Koopa Shell. Save. All right. That brings us back to do it. We don't want to do that. We want to continue on our way. So we'll play, you know, we'll play a little bit more. I mean, this gives you a pretty good idea of what this game is. For me, I'm very satisfied with this. I was quite worried about what I was going to get from this game, but I am very, very happy with it. I think it's you know, it's done with love. You know, it's not a cash grab. They did a really solid job with this. Yeah, by the way, Mallow believes he is a frog. He is not aware that he is a cloud. That's not terrifying. That's kind of like a running joke in this game, is like people are like, "Oh, you're Mario? You're not what I thought you would be." There's a lot of like physical humor in this game because Mario's a silent protagonist. It's very like maudlin, I guess. I think that's the right word. Like it's very like over the top. Like they will like fall down. It's very like anime influenced. You know, somebody will say something that kind of makes you rub your head a little bit, and they, instead of just being like, you know, kind of like a facial animation or a facial remark that most people would make in real life, you know, they legitimately just like fall to the ground in disbelief. And I think that stuff, like when it's done right, is funny, and I think they always kind of straddle that line in this game really well, because I can't stand it sometimes in other forms of entertainment. It can be quite annoying. So Smithy is the kind of the big bad of this game's giant, you know, the Smithy gang, you know, the group of bosses that you encounter throughout the game. I don't think not all of the boss characters are part of the gang, but they're kind of preventing you. They've taken over Bowser's castle, and right now the princess is missing. You know, eventually find the princess and all that, and you know. The next big thing in the game here, which we're not going to get to in this video, is recruiting Gino, the wooden doll. He is my favorite character in this game. He's a lot of people's favorite character in this game. He's super powerful, very mysterious, because you know, with this game being a Square property, you know, these characters, Mallow and Gino, never really appeared in anything else. Like some Easter eggs here and there, but the rights situation you know, prevented them from being a part of, like, they were never playable characters in like Mario Kart or Smash Brothers or anything like that. So Mallow is coming with us permanently. He is going to be told finally he is not a tadpole. And he is in disbelief. And so is everyone else. I always liked his stupid pants and belt combination. Reminded me of something that like Sinbad would wear. Yeah, I think like in the remake, like that level of animation on his face that wouldn't have come across in the original for a couple of different reasons. One, the art style in the original, obviously it being an older game at this point, it's almost 30 years old. But the characters were designed to look like dolls. They were designed to look like handmade toys for children. And in this game, they look more like cartoon-ish, you know, traditional Mario kind of art style. Still definitely different. Like this is a very different Mario than you would see in a lot of depictions of him. But I like it, you know, I don't think it takes away from the original, you know, the original's still valid, you know. The other thing is new score in this game, new music. You can switch. We've been listening to the new soundtrack, but you can switch by pausing. Yeah, I think we're good for now. Do we really have anything to sell? All right, let's head on our way. This will probably be where we stop off. Play a little bit further. So there's light platforming in the game, you know, nothing too crazy. You know, all the environments are this very, you know, isometric situation that's going on, you know, nothing nothing really changes. There are some really cool environments that you get to in this game. The further you get into it, there's some really cool stuff that you get to see, and just little hidden surprises and things like that. You know, you go to Cloud Casino and all that stuff, and some really inventive enemies like the birthday cake monster, and the next big boss, Boyer, who he fires arrows, and whatever button his arrow lands on you can't use, so you might not be able to attack, you know, for a couple turns or use an item or whatever it may be. They have the Axiom Rangers, which are, you know, definitely a big time Power Rangers ripoff. So there's a lot of like really memorable moments in this game simply due to like the bespoke nature of the enemies that they came up with. You know, you have your Shy Guys and Goombas and all that stuff, but they really did kind of come up with a whole setup of brand new characters. Small party though. There's only, I think, a total of 5 party members, Bowser, Peach, Mario, Geno, Mallow. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. But it really doesn't, it's not a negative. I know some people like to have like a really wide variety of party members to choose from to kind of min-max their setup, but you ultimately don't really think about it. Because kind of everybody serves their role really well. And, you know, there's like the weapon system, like Mario can have his shell and hammer, and, Mallow gets his cymbals, and Bowser has these claws and stuff. Like they add to things. It's not just like, oh, Mario jumps or Mario punches, you know, they kind of mix things up a little bit, and it's nice. The game, I mean, it is a lot of combat. So, you know, that was, I know a lot of people kind of in the kind of the gist of the reviews that were going around is a lot of people are like, oh, you know, it's just a lot of combat. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's an RPG. Like, kind of what do you expect? And it's an RPG from the 90s, you know, that was kind of what they had. Storytelling was not as evolved as it is these days. Here's Bowser trying to rally the troops to get his castle back. He is not thrilled that he has been ousted. The game kicks off with him trying to kidnap Peach once again. Ooh, that's a good punch. Yeah, he's Wiz-A-Koopa. Oh, terrifying. Goomhilda. Police siren. All right, they're on their way. Bowser's not going to take this lion down. All right, well, I think we can get to the next town, and that's probably where we will cut it off. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, the arrows shooting down to pause people is, you know, kind of the foreshadowing of the next opponent. Let's go to a hotel so we can save. They're always designated by having the stars there. That's actually cool. Is like his feet move. They're more like stuffed animals. This scene plays out in the original game. That's actually really nice. A subtle little animation on the toys is pretty cool. You get to meet a lot of just kind of cool side characters, little villagers. There's the whole thing later on, the minecarts of the mole town and all that stuff. We're playing Save the World. We don't even know who Gino is yet. It's because he comes alive from the toy. Like how he just ramrods Mario into a fucking wall. Then Mario just kicks him into a staircase. And now Mario has a concussion. And that's how, as a child, I learned about CTE. Thank you, Mario. I learned a lot. Yeah, there are cutscenes. I think this is the first one we've seen in this video. There are cutscenes. They're very nicely done. You know, well made. And now we see Gino. I think we're gonna see Gino come to life here. Thank you, mystical eternal burning flame. Ah, such a great character. The special attacks had like the coolest effects, you know, they're like these rainbow beams that would shoot out and stuff, and if you did things right, you could do like 99,000 damage and all this stuff. They really made him to kind of be the in a way like kind of like the show stealer, you know, which is funny because, you know, you would assume that Nintendo would want Mario to be front and center, which of course he is, but I think a lot of people kind of came away being like, hey, you know, maybe the coolest part of that game was not Mario, it was this other character, this little puppet. Or I guess he's not a puppet, he's a little wooden doll. All right. I always love that he jumps right out of bed. All right, so we're going to end it there. You know, I'm going to keep playing this. I'm excited to dig back in, you know, to kind of experience my favorite game in a new way. So if you're kind of on the fence, you're not sure if this is for you. I know a lot of people are like, it's not that long of a game. It's 12 hours, 13 hours. And it's a full price title from Nintendo. It really is such a unique Nintendo experience. It's, for people that care about it, there is a reason why it's on a list or on so many lists of the greatest games of all time or the greatest RPGs of all time. Even though it's kind of a much shorter RPG experience than probably what a lot of people are used to, maybe a lot more watered down RPG experience than a lot of people are used to, it is there for a reason because it has such a wonderful story and a lot of humor and a lot of physical storytelling. It's not a ton of like lore dumps and text logs and all that stuff. There's some variety to the game. Yes, there's a lot of the same kind of combat throughout, but you are getting different weapons and leveling up and getting different moves. But they break it up with the little bits of platforming and the little bits of the mini games. We saw a couple of those. So I would say, not just because I love the game so much, but I think it is a game that if you're an RPG fan and you haven't played it, you should experience it at least once. So that's going to do it for me. Once again, this is the Super Mario RPG remake out now on the Nintendo Switch, and we'll see you again real soon.